welcome to the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I'm the Athletic Geek, joined once again by Jedi Jason Kruger, and kind of a prediction show I didn't expect to do, but we're going to do it this
down
week.
under.
Down under.
Down
under.
I wasn't brave enough to try an accent.
No offense if I have any Australian viewers. If this is the first time you've ever seen this show and aren't completely turned off by that accent, this is the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. Jedi and myself have had many years of watching wrestling together, talking
Over a
wrestling.
decade.
Over a decade. We love wrestling. We love talking about wrestling. We love discussing wrestling with you, the viewer, and any other wrestling fans. We love stimulating discussion about professional wrestling. However, Jedi and myself are not in the wrestling biz. We're not wrestlers. We're not writers. We aren't anything but just two marks. Our opinions carry no more weight than you, the fans out there. And we would love to hear your voices. But at the end of the day, we're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not wrestlers. We're just two marks. And let's not waste
We're
it.
going to try to avoid any of those terms.
Yes, we try to avoid insider terms. Try not to use terms that we
Which
shouldn't
is
be
really
using.
hard.
Which is really hard because they've been part of our vernacular for so long. But that's our goal here, to further illustrate that at the end of the day, we're just two marks.
Mm-hmm.
No more time to be wasted. Let's get to the predictions for Super Show Down Under. Okay, so
Super Showdown. There are 10 matches on this
10
card.
matches, and it's really funny, and I'm going to concede why, this page is amateur here. I wasn't going to do a prediction show for this, because much like the Greatest Royal Rumble, I think at the end of the day, this is just going to be a glorified house show.
Yeah, or live event, if you got to go by WWE.
Yeah, or live event. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing so many of our peers in the YouTube community do prediction shows, so I'm like, maybe there's this much of a chance that it will be...
It's just because of Undertaker and Triple H, but...
Yeah.
Still.
Well, I mean...
Cynical? No.
We'll see in the predictions. Also, if you're watching this like, some of our other peers that we mentioned that do YouTube shows with punishments, hey, guess what? You're kind of shit out of luck. We're just doing predictions. We're not about that here. But, Jedi, to the card, please.
All right. So, going for Wikipedia, so, yeah.
That's always
sounds
accurate.
Weird, yeah. Well, I can confirm they're happening, so. Card subject to change always. But anyway, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair.
Well, that definitely ain't going to be the first match. Or it better not fucking be. I want to say
I'm
that.
not kidding. For the WWE Women's Championship. SmackDown Women's Championship. The blue one.
The blue one. Becky. No questions asked. Becky.
Yeah, I just can't see it going any other way right now.
She's going to be one of the villainesses that win. Villainesses.
Yeah. Now, here's an interesting one. Just because it's Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics in a tag match. The only reason it's interesting is because the Iconics are Australian.
Yes. I feel like they, on SmackDown, they're, when they said, we can't lose because it's Australia, I think that's just the big red flag going, we're going to lose!
Yeah.
We're going to lose!
I mean, if you go with NXT continuity, Asuka pretty well took them on by herself down there quite a number of times.
But on the main roster,
could be
unfortunately,
I know.
NXT continuity means something when they want to mean something.
Yeah.
It's like the X-Men movie continuity.
Right.
Here continuity means something here, but it doesn't here, but it means something here. It means something here in the Dark Phoenix movie because we're going to let not good actress play Jean Grey and not good actress Famke Janssen from the originals. We're not going to bring her back. We're going to have the not very good actress that was from, or she at least didn't play not a good act.
On a side note, she terrified me a lot more in GoldenEye than she did as
Yeah, she might be good on Game of Thrones, but she was not very, very good Jean Grey. But we're going to have her be the Phoenix because, continuity there. But they've said fuck continuity. So that's like...
Yeah.
That whole situation is like WWE's NXT continuity. It's just kind of like, it means something, but it doesn't. But it does, but it doesn't.
When they want it to.
I am going to go with... I'm going to go with Asuka's team. Asuka and Naomi. Sorry, Naomi. I forgot your name there for a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one just because, you know, I think they jinxed it, and I think they also might, you know, kind of be a little rude to their home country for a bit, and maybe kind of justify.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. I think I'm gonna have to go for that too. As much as like this is the Iconics' kind of best chance. I mean, they could pin Naomi after Asuka like just destroys everybody. But I mean,
well, and Asuka, let's be honest, beating Asuka doesn't
I know
doesn't mean shit anymore, and that kills me on the inside to say, but it's the truth.
But, yeah, no kidding. Far cry from April, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm going to go with Asuka.
Far cry from a year ago where I was considering Ember Moon and Asuka to be the most important women's wrestling match in WWE history, because with the hype around it. And
right.
Fuck me, right?
New Day versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team Championship. SmackDown Tag Team Championship, my bad.
New Day.
Keep them track.
New Day's not losing.
Yeah, I don't see them losing either.
Not on a show.
Should be a good match, but I don't see it. Like, those guys can go, but... Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship.
I'm gonna go Buddy Murphy.
I am too. He's also Australian.
I think this will, and I'm not. I know this was brought up on another YouTube page's predictions earlier, so I'm not completely stealing with them. I kind of have this in mind as well.
Great minds and all
that.
Yeah,
great mind. I'm nowhere near their level, but I. If you watch both of our shows, you know I didn't completely steal from them, so. But I'll address the elephant in the room first. I feel like this will be like the balance. The Iconics will lose, but they'll give you a home countryman winning a championship. And also, it kind of, much like the Greatest Royal Rumble, they can have a title switch like this. They go, no, see? It's not just a glorified live event. See? Things happen. See?
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Plus, Cedric Alexander's had that thing forever.
Yeah, he's had since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I just read this before we started recording. He has not lost a singles match in over a year.
Wow.
So, good on Cedric Alexander for that. That's really, really cool. To me, the most breakout performer of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Well, I would say with that.
1 year winning streak. You know, title reign since WrestleMania. You know, giving it to a home country, giving it to an Australian and letting them have a moment in their home country like that. That shouldn't be a bad idea.
So here's the weird one to me: AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in a no count out, no disqualification match for the WWE Championship. I feel like Styles is probably going to retain, as much as I'd like Joe to win.
Yeah, I feel like he is too. However, it's one of those things like, if Styles doesn't retain, it's going to... if Joe wins, it's going to affect another match down the line for me. You know what I mean? Because we got the Bryan and Miz match later on, where the winner gets a shot at the WWE Championship.
That makes sense.
So it's like,
what are you feeling today?
yeah. This is where things get to. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go AJ. Even though I've been picking Joe for the last few times, and then AJ's been winning, so I'm gonna go AJ. Only because of who I'm gonna pick down the line.
Gotcha. We could just skip to that.
Yeah, just go ahead. Well,
fresh in your brain.
Well, let's go ahead and
Daniel Bryan versus the Miz, number one contender.
Miz AJ. There you go. That's why I'm picking AJ, because of Miz and AJ.
I'm going the other way and picking Daniel Bryan to face AJ in a dream match, possibly at SmackDown 1000, just for Miz to go in and mess it all up. That sounds like...
That makes sense, too. That is like that would then be the story of every time Bryan and AJ tried to wrestle in the WWE.
Somebody interferes.
Somebody's fucking that shit up somehow.
It'll be him, it'll be Joe, it'll be Nakamura, it'll be like, oh, come on! So, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
See, we don't agree on everything. I Anyway.
You're not a yes man? You're not part of the
Yes,
movement?
it's true. Yes.
You're not part, you don't like Daniel Bryan anymore?
That's right. That's why I picked him and you picked Miz.
You don't like him anymore after the way he came back from his automobile to meet you at Ring of Honor at one time?
And aside, that was hilarious.
That
He just
was.
said, "Hi, my name's Brian." I know.
Yeah. That, like, I already was a huge fan of him, but, like, that solidified, like, I'm gonna love that man forever.
Dude,
just
he's
like
awesome.
how cool he is.
He is awesome. Bella Twins and Ronda Rousey versus the Riot Squad.
Rousey and the Bella Twins.
Yeah,
There's just too much. There's too much. And don't get me wrong. My heart wants the Riot Squad to win that match. But my head goes. You have two reality TV stars and probably the biggest, the most popular female athlete in the last 10 years.
Yeah, at a live event, no less, basically.
You know, they're gonna get the "yay, look at us" moments for some good PR publicity.
Other personalities, just because I've heard this so much, theorizing that maybe some miscommunication will happen, they'll lose, and that'll lead to explaining Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey, because that's the rumor at Evolution. I think they're going to go the more lame, we're friends, let's have a match route, like they did with Nia Jax and Rousey. Because that's how much
well, you know, I mean, like, she's not like most girls, so that's why that can work.
That's right. So, well, Nikki's fearless.
Yeah.
That's her, Keep up with all these people's taglines. The Shield versus the Dogs of War, maybe? I don't know, whatever. Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. A 3-on-3.
I feel
the
like...
Shield. I hope you know who those are. Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins.
I feel like the Shield loses this one to keep the bubbling. Is Dean gonna turn? Is Dean gonna turn going?
I agree.
I do feel at this point, you know, this is the one downside that's actually not recapping the show this week, even though this is the wrestling recap show. It's like
we're loose for our format.
Yeah, I feel like right now they're making it way too obvious that Dean's gonna turn.
Yeah.
So obvious that they'll do something like, "Oh my God, Seth Rollins is the bad guy again. Yeah, don't you want to see Roman Reigns beat the shit out of him?"
Yeah.
And then I just might have made myself sadder with how pathetic. Nothing's changed as far as Raw is concerned. Raw is still like doing homework.
Yeah.
You know, like Raw is like accelerated reading books for school.
It's true.
To where, you know, SmackDown is like, you know, watching Here, go down. You know, they're both like having to read books for school. SmackDown's whenever like I got to read something like Harry Potter or Stephen King or, you know, a book about World War II for school, and I'm like, yay! And then I get to, you know, like, I get to talk about that. It's gonna be a good time. Whereas Raw to me is like having to read, you know,
anything from
something I just don't care about. I'm not gonna piss off a fan group and go, "I didn't like this," and be like, "How dare you not say you didn't like this great literary work?" As most other things I wasn't interested in. SmackDown, I get excited for it. I'm like, all right, let's cover some SmackDown. We're gonna cover some New Japan, and then
yeah.
We don't do NXT enough on this show because you don't have time to watch NXT.
Unfortunately, which is unfortunate because I know that's the best show.
Other than New Japan.
Well, again, time.
And we put no effort into the order on these, so there you go.
Not really. All right, it's just two more. This one's easy. Bobby Lashley and John Cena versus Elias and Kevin Owens.
Bobby Lashley
and John Cena.
If you're not picking
water
them,
wet?
if you're not picking them, I feel like there's something wrong with you. You're following your heart a little too much, especially if you're on the internet.
Yeah, you have more faith than most of us. We applaud you for that. Triple H with Shawn Michaels.
I'll use the one actual quote from Tommy Lee Jones and Batman Forever that I liked. That's noble, stupid, but noble.
Fair. That was a pretty good line. Yeah. And you made me start thinking about that movie.
Terrible movie. Well, I'm not saying terrible. He was terrible as Two-Face because Two-Face was written terrible.
Yeah.
But we're tangenting off of way too much for comic book and superhero movies right now.
That performance was so loud that I couldn't help but relive it.
And that's not fucking Two-Face. I think Jim Carrey did a good job, but maybe that's another.
Not as good as Jesse Eisenberg.
You saying his Lex Luger was a
Would have been a good Riddler, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, didn't strike me as Luthor quite. But anyway, Triple H with Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker with Kane. I'm going to go with Triple H.
I'm going to go Undertaker. No. Well, I'm going to switch it because I got to think about it. Because Shawn's breaking this retirement to be part of a pointless fucking tag match at WWE Go Fuck Yourself in Saudi Arabia. WWE Who Gives a Fuck. Like if you think this is a live event, it's going to be even worse in fucking Saudi Arabia. But he's breaking his retirement, not wrestling AJ, not wrestling Bryan or Joe or Rollins or Finn or Shinsuke or any of these fucking people, but we're gonna see a pointless tag match that nobody's gonna give a fuck about. But I think for the sake of the story, Shawn's gonna cost Taker, which leads to the tag match to where they'll get their revenge.
Yeah. I hope the match is good. I mean, I haven't really got to see Undertaker go since he got surgically repaired.
Yeah,
Like
it may not be a bad match, but it's just one of those. I'm just disappointed. It's like, on one hand, I'm happy my all-time favorite's going to get one more match. On the other hand, it's kind of like, but why though? Like, for 8 years, we're like, oh, is Shawn going to come back and wrestle?
Yeah.
Is he going to come back and wrestle this guy, or this guy, or this guy? And nope, we're going to see something that can't. We're going to see.
It's an easy payday.
An easy payday, but it's like, can 8 years later they top what is still today? And y'all can fucking find me on this. Even after seeing Naito and Omega, or Omega and Okada, or all these New Japan matches, or Gargano and Ciampa, and all these NXT matches, what is still, to me, the best wrestling match we've ever seen, which is Shawn versus Taker at WrestleMania 25. 9 years after that, 8 years after one that came close but didn't quite live up to it, are they going to live up to any of their performance? Of course not. So instead of me thinking, why would I want to see that again, I'd rather see something 8 years later fresh. Like, oh my God, I've never seen... Can the early 50s Shawn go with his former trainee Bryan? All these things, but it's one of those... They've successfully done something I didn't think they would be able to do. They've made me have a mixed reaction to a Shawn Michaels return.
That's fair, yeah.
And if you would have told me I'd be having a mixed feelings about my all-time favorite wrestler coming back, I'd say you're fucking nuts, but...
I have mixed feelings about my all-time favorite wrestler coming back.
Yes, in the same fucking match, no less.
So...
yeah, it's just... yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, at least fans of Ric Flair, if they didn't watch TNA, were spared.
Yep. So that means most fans of Ric Flair.
Yes.
Oh!
However, I mean, you're depriving yourself if you don't go to YouTube and watch Ric Flair and Jay Lethal woo at each other. I mean... So that's Super Showdown in a nutshell. Yeah, try that.
Yeah, I'm not watching this live.
3 times fast.
I'm not watching this live.
It's like 5 in the morning or something like that.
And I wake up early for some shit, or stay up late for some shit. If it's something that I really want to see, I'll fucking do it.
Right.
I've woke up at the crack of fucking dawn to watch some New Japan. I've stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning to finish watching New Japan live. During the G1, oh fuck yeah, I was doing this all the time. this is not something that would come close to that.
No.
Shinsuke Nakamura's not on the card. Finn Balor's not on the fucking card. This, I don't...
Shelton Benjamin was on TV this week.
Yeah, actually beat Brian. Yeah. What's funny is it's like actually when I saw that, I said Shelton got his win back because I bought off of High Spots.
Mm-hmm.
Shell the High Spots, even though they don't sponsor us, they had like a Daniel Bryan collection of like some of his best whatever stuff they'd have the rights to put on a collection.
Yeah.
And one match they have is from an independent promotion from like October of 2010, after he'd already got signed back and won the U.S. title in the WWE. He still had like a few independent commitments.
Oh.
And this was like one of his last independent commitments where he wrestles Shelton Benjamin and wins. So I was like, all right. 8 years later, Shelton gets his win back on Brian.
Hey, there you go.
But that's our thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Mae Young Classic.
So, Mae Young Classic.
All right, it's time to tag on out now, and I just put the leadership role squarely on the shoulders of Jedi here as he gives his thoughts on this week's edition of the Mae Young Classic.
All right. So, episode 5, we are in the not quarterfinals, the second round. It throws me. There's like 5 rounds of this thing. So we've had some eliminations. We're down to 16 women now instead of 32. So it's getting more serious, and unsurprisingly, the match quality is getting better because we're whittling it down to the more experienced people. So Tony Storm
and spoiler warnings. We're just gonna
spoiler.
We're gonna go straight into spoiler warnings.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, and haven't seen it yet, you've been warned now. Shut the video off now if you don't want, and come back to this timestamp if you don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah,
so,
because I'm ruining.
Here is your warning.
Don't get angry right here just by mentioning the names that are still in it. So, all right. So we're just rolling right in. Tony Storm versus Hiroyo Matsumoto. If I can get my tongue to work today here. Tony Storm, the Australian favorite rocker girl that went to like the semifinals last year against Kairi Sane. She obviously we knew was going to go pretty far again this year. So unsurprisingly, she beat Hiroyo Matsumoto. But the female Godzilla, she calls herself, put up quite a fight. They had a pretty good knockdown drag out. I mean, they're both familiar with strong style. Apparently, Tony Storm was a big thing in Stardom over there, which I didn't know. And so they were like, yeah, we fought before. So they beat the crap out of each other pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good. It was pretty back and forth. For a little bit there, I actually thought Matsumoto was going to win, which I was convinced Storm was going to win before the match started. So kudos to them for making me think.
Hallmark of a good match. Hallmark of a good match right there.
So, yeah, that's about all I got on that. I mean, I wouldn't tell you to skip any of these. They're getting good now. Like, there's no, oh, well, that was okay, and this was great. Definitely check this out. It's basically to the point now where it's like, hey, you should just watch it, you know? I mean, this one, probably the second best match of the night. Casey Catanzaro, the Ninja Warrior gymnast girl, versus Rhea Ripley, the tall, angry Australian that will beat your face off. The one that was like, I lost last year, so this year I'm evil. This is funny because in the first round, Casey Catanzaro fought, oh shoot, name's going to escape me right now. But in the first round, she fought someone essentially twice her size and weight, and did the same thing here in the second round. It's just like, man, you have the worst luck. But it was, once again, it was really amazing. Casey, her weird gymnast thing she does, she's very high energy, very high flying. I mean, it's very much Rey Mysterio. My wife made the comment she'd never seen a female wrestler move with that much speed and high flying. It's like she'd seen some male cruiserweights do it, but not. So she was very impressed. Yeah, it was fun to watch. In the end, Rhea Ripley ended up just crushing her. But, I mean, there was a lot of fight back. It wasn't like a one-sided deal by any means. But it was fun. I definitely recommend that one. I enjoyed the heck out of that. You should have seen people staring at me when I was watching it in the break room on my little phone, and I was clapping, looking at the phone. I'm like, what are you doing? Tanara Conti versus, or Conchi, I think they pronounce it Conchi, but Tanara Conchi versus Lacey Lane. Probably the weakest of the 4 matches, but not bad. They're both still pretty inexperienced, really. Lacey Lane's been training with WWE for like a year, maybe, and was trained by the Dudleys a couple of years ago, so she's still really green, and but did pretty good for it. Tanara Conchi, she was in the Mae Young Classic last year, but had barely signed with WWE, and she's been training for a year, but yeah, she did a lot of judo, which she has a black belt in, so I mean, that would look good. And it was good, and in the end, Lacey Lane won, which surprised me, because I kind of thought they were going to go further with Conchi with her, like, martial arts background and stuff, but they didn't. They went with Lacey Lane. She's pretty entertaining. She's going to die in the next round. I mean, because the next match, whoever wins it, is going to face her in the next round. It's either Mercedes Martinez or Meiko Satomura. And I'm sorry, she can't beat either of those people at the level she's at right now.
Yeah.
So she's going to die next round. But she made it to the quarterfinals. Good job, Lacey Lane. Mercedes Martinez versus Meiko Satomura. This is what happens when you get 2 women that have been wrestling for over a decade plus that know what they're doing and aren't afraid to hit each other and do some slams and some moves. Like, I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody else in the tournament, but like, these two, you know, they weren't afraid to go out there and just do what they do, you know, and it was good. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was probably one of the best matches on there so far. It was very back and forth. I did not know who was going to win. I assumed Mercedes was going to win. I was incorrect. Satomura won. There was a point where I thought Martinez had her put away, and then she made a comeback, and they went back and forth. And yeah, definitely watch that match. I mean, if you want to skip all the others, you probably ought to watch that match because it was worth the afterwards. I mean, you know, sometimes you see them shake hands afterwards or whatever and nod at each other. This was one of those hug and both kind of collapse in the ring kind of things because they both, I mean, I don't think they could have given much more in that match, so it was good. Also, I had never seen the scorpion kick thing that Satomura used to win. Looked pretty neat to me. So, anyway, that's about all there is to that, but that was pretty awesome. Next week will be the other half of the second round, and then I assume the third episode will just roll right into the whole quarterfinal, and then the next will be the 2 semifinal matches, and then we'll be up on Evolution for the final live at the pay-per-view. So, yep, we're rolling right along, about halfway. So,
yeah, well, we'll probably do a prediction show for Evolution.
Oh yeah, of course.
We might have to do some prediction, maybe a 2-parter, but you know, do predictions along with the recap because
might have to do that in reverse order that week, just because.
Right.
But
yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Want to do some real quick New Japan thoughts. All right, time for some real quick New Japan thoughts. Going to use Jedi's phone to help out here. They had their Fighting Spirit Unleashed in Long Beach this past Sunday. Show was okay. It's still probably better than a lot of things WWE had put out. But my problem with, and I know other YouTubers have said the same thing, whenever New Japan comes to America, you don't get New Japan, you get westernized New Japan, which is still very good, but like it doesn't feel. And I get, you know, they want to use more American wrestlers there, but it doesn't really feel very much like we're getting authentic New Japan. And I kind of really got that with this show. Like, some United States shows have been so good, it's like, fuck yeah, this one felt very, like, very skip. If it wasn't for Cody winning the IWGP US title from Juice Robinson, and the Girls of Destiny winning the IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles from the Young Bucks, show was very skippable, in my opinion. The main event was still pretty good, and it set up the show that will be early morning Monday. Actually, believe it's I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So we got King of Pro Wrestling being set up. One of their bigger cards, or I'm not gonna say a bigger card, but like kind of guess you could say almost like a equivalent of a Survivor Series, maybe. You know, it's
Mhm.
kind of the later part is before they start getting into the World Tag League and then into Wrestle Kingdom mode.
Makes
Kind of
sense. Yeah.
getting there.
Gotcha.
And they got a few big matches. First of all, we have El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Jushin Thunder Liger and Tiger Mask for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles. I think Kanemaru and Desperado are going to win this one, but it's interesting because Liger has already like kind of fallen into the Legends role in New Japan, and what that basically means is he'll still be on cards, but he'll never be like in like kind of the top contender for the junior title. You work with the younger guys, you wrestle the younger guys, so and you're on the show just basically to kind of
John Cena.
not even John Cena, because John Cena could still go win the title tomorrow.
Well,
these guys ain't
good.
winning no titles ever, or at least
John Cena in another
like
10 years.
like Yuji Nagata's in the Legends role now. Yuji Nagata ain't winning the IWGP title again. I compare it to, I was trying to explain to an MMA fan friend of mine. I said like it's like how Severn and Shamrock still fight. They're going to be winning the UFC heavyweight title anytime soon, but they'll wrestle or they'll fight on these like other cards against young guys. Only difference is, this is still a company with relevancy and not a small company.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
that makes sense to me, and I don't even really watch MMA, so
yeah,
I know what you're saying there.
But pretty cool, that they actually had Liger and Tiger Mask getting this shot, by beating the champions. So it's kind of
Gotcha.
Maybe the Legends role will be changing in New Japan. There's a special singles match between Evil and Zack Sabre Jr. Kind of been a lot of issues between Suzuki Gun and Los Ingobernables de Japón. Not only spinning off of Minoru Suzuki and Tetsuya Naito having an issue all year, but also ZSJ and Naito having some issues themselves, and especially with ZSJ beating Naito in the G1, thus eliminating him from having any shot at going to the finals. So that should be a really good match. I think I will pick probably for that one ZSJ. And let ZSJ or maybe with some help from Jericho, because at Dominion they kind of teased that Evil and Jericho may have a match for the IWGP Intercontinental title. But speaking of LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón will be in a 8-man tag match against Chaos with Shoyo, Roppongi 3K, Toriano, and Kazuchika Okada taking on Naito, Sanada, Bushi, and a new member of LIJ being revealed on this show. Hiromu has unfortunately broke his neck and will be out for an extended period of time. He had to relinquish his IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, but a new member of LIJ, that's one of the smaller knit group in New Japan, so I'm very intrigued to see who that is. I don't have any predictions, I'm just ready to see who it is. But speaking of Hiromu's unfortunate injury, as a result of that, they had a 4-man tournament of the last few junior heavyweight champions. And, the new champion will be crowned. It will be Kushida versus Marty Scurll. And despite wearing the shirt, I think they're going with Kushida in this one. But, never know. My head's saying Kushida, but as I'm wearing the shirt, my heart says Villain Club. So, and then from there, the semi-main event is for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship shot at the Tokyo Dome. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay White. Jay White and Gato have completely turned on Okada, and they're bringing chaos to chaos. And I think Tanahashi's going to retain his briefcase here, but I think we'll see more seeds planted for what I think will probably be Okada versus Jay White at the Dome. And see where things are going with the future of the Chaos stable. And finally in the main event, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, Kenny Omega, the champion, versus Kota Ibushi, versus IWGP US Champion Cody Rhodes. They were going to do it looked as if Kenny was going to give Kota a shot at the end of their tag match. They were going to announce it. But Cody came out and suggested he get added into the triple threat. Cody's kind of like, I'm not trying to knock anybody with this affliction. He's in New Japan, he's very bipolar, it seems. He's either likable or unlikable. It just kind of depends on what day of the week it is. So he interjected himself into that match. I think that might be to protect the singles match, to have that later on down the road with Kota and Kenny for the title. Or possibly, forgive me, I don't know if it's elimination or one fall in New Japan. Possibly for Kota to pin Kenny and get the title that way to protect Kenny. I don't know. I'm going to say Kenny walks out as champion, but I'm not sure. Either way, I'll be watching this on tape delay because I believe I have to work that night. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, Mae Young Classic heating up. Got some good stuff coming out of New Japan, and
and then Australia.
And there's some show in Australia right now for the WWE. But that will pretty much conclude it for us this week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a share, give it a like, give us a subscribe if you'd like to see more content. Go check out other videos, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of comic books, gaming, and all things geek culture. You can go follow me on Twitter at athletic_geek89. And for more content, go like the Facebook page at facebook.com/athleticgeek89. There's some Facebook exclusive articles on there, including my weekly collection comic of the week and my CWDC Universe reviews for the week. Those are exclusive to Facebook, so if you want to check those out, go like the Facebook page. Jedi doesn't have social media because he got a wife and kids and he ain't got time for that shit. But for Jay Jason Kruger, I'm the Athletic Geek. We are just two marks. We're out. Later.